Welcome. So this is a 7-day kickstart. We are technically on day 6. It does not matter what day you're on. You might have just jumped on yesterday. You might have just started. This challenge is not about doing everything perfectly. In fact, I don't want you to do that. I don't believe in that. It does not exist. We go on, we go off, life hits us, we have seasons. We just meet ourselves where we're at today. Even yesterday was different. So we did a almost 75-minute coaching yesterday. It was all about sugar detoxing and things that we can do. And today, what I want to do is I want to get a feeling from you with how you're doing, where you're at. I know Shannon has to leave shortly. I want you just to ask me some questions. Tell me where you're at. What are you winning at? What are you struggling at today? The more real, the more honest you can be, the better it is. And I'm going to give you this little quick story. Yesterday, I was talking with my daughter. She's 15, and she had asked me a bunch of really deep questions at night. And she said, Mom, your life seems really perfect. Like how things have worked out for you. Isn't this funny? And I just listened to her and she said, and I know it's not because I know all of your struggles, what you've been through. I know what you're going through now with your health. And she said, but people really see you as this great role model. You've been through all these things and it generally looks easy for you. And it's funny because perception versus reality with whoever you're following, with whoever your friends are, with what's going on. Don't you agree that sometimes we look at people and we think they really got it going on? And on the back end, they are just like, they're stressing and struggling. And some of us are really honest about it. Like I choose to have a very honest approach and tell people life isn't easy, but how people see you is how people see you. And some people choose to pretend like everything is going great. And I don't think that's the right way. I think we need to be honest about our struggles. Life is difficult. Choices are difficult. Habits are difficult. Changing your ways is difficult, right? So I just want you to be honest with yourself. There's nothing you can tell me that I haven't heard in 20 plus years of coaching. I tell people this all the time. Like, I'm so embarrassed to say this. I'm like, I've heard it all. Be honest, meet yourself where you're at, and let's be realistic about what we want to do because you're going to continue on this 7-day journey. Whether you're carrying on with the free stuff, whether you're doing your own thing, whether you're jumping into my Fit and Fierce, whether you're in classes, wherever you are, I want you to meet yourself and keep making little steps progress. That's what it's about. And do it daily. Forget the 90-day goal. What are you going to do today so that by the summer, you feel good, you look good? What's one thing you can do? Maybe it's drink water, get out of bed, have a shower, phone a friend, get an accountability buddy. It's not, I'm going to change my eating. I'm going to work out, an hour a day. My whole meal plan, I'm going keto, I'm going this. It's too difficult to do that. Break it down in tiny tidbits and chunks. So maybe Shannon, do you want to tell us where you're at? Do you want to break out a little bit of honesty? This is completely up to you. If you want to put it privately in the chat, you can. To me only. Just hit Trina only. If you want to share, let's share.
Yeah, sure. I don't mind sharing. So where I'm at is I had struggled for a long time with I was a runner and got injured and got sick and had some major life changes and challenges. And I felt I had a real bad injury in my shoulder. I tore my rotator cuff. I was a big mess. And so my workouts dropped off, and then sort of stress and COVID took over. And I had a really hard time getting back on back onto a workout routine. And I really found that I knew I wanted to do it and I knew I needed to do it, but I just couldn't get myself to do it on a regular basis. And so in the fall, I just thought, I saw you had the 6:15 in the morning classes, and I knew that I work out better in the morning. And I'm like, I'm just going to jump in. I don't really want to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to work out at all. But if I do this, I know I'll stick to it. And I have. And so I'm very grateful for that, because I just needed that nudge. I needed that accountability to get to that point. And I know that it helps me. For me, it's not about how I look, it's about how I feel. And it just helps me so much to manage my stress and my anxiety. And I just feel better when I work out. And so when I'm doing these workouts, it's really saved me in ways that I can't tell you. So thank you. I'm going to keep on going on.
I love hearing that from you, Shannon, because obviously I know you on a personal level. We've had interactions. And for those of you that don't know, Shannon is an incredible dietitian. So she knows a ton about food. So from the outside, you're like, she's got it going on. She knows everything. She must have like this perfect kitchen and all these things, and everything's great. She's on CH, right? We have like a lot of the similar qualities, and we struggle too. You
Totally.
hear her. She struggles. She knows what to do. She knows what to eat. You know all the things, right? I always say, when I tell you stuff, you're not like, I'm blown away. I should move more. I should sleep more. I should eat more. But you said one thing that is critically key. And this is me. And this is where that story with my daughter, it ties in. Everything looks good and everything looks perfect. Accountability. She said it. How many of you think you're going to do it on your own? You're like, I'm going to do this all on my own. I've got this. And you really have good intentions. And maybe it's money that holds you back. Maybe it's your story. It doesn't matter. You're not. We're not meant to do these things on our own. We need a group. We need a tribe. We need other people. Like the fact that Shannon knows that we know she's supposed to show up at 6:15. If she doesn't show up, someone's going, where was she? Maybe it's the instructor, maybe, right? So it's that piece that we need. And the amount of women that contact me and are like, I'm going to do it on my own. I want to just reach out and say, you're not. But I don't want to discourage them. But the truth is, it's too difficult. And there's a lot of things we can do on our own, but it's so much better with a group. So I love that you said that, Shannon, because many of us think we're failures and we don't do it by ourselves. Why can't I just get up and do it? We're meant to be in community tribes together, cheering people on. You got this, come on. I know you're down. We pick each other up. We're all like that. I'm a trainer. I'm a coach. I love fitness. I have no difficulty working out. And there's days I'm like, oh, and my kids are like, get in the gym. Get in the gym. And I have no reason, because it's my love, my passion. So if you're the kind of person that you just hate working out or you're really unmotivated, it feels twice as hard. Just know you're not alone. You're not alone. This group proves it. We've been going through all these changes. People are in the worst, and Shannon, you probably see this in your job, the worst mental space I've ever seen people. And I've been coaching since 1998. The worst I've ever seen people. Beating ourselves up, feeling down, depressed, anxious, even worse, suicidal. Like, this is a real thing. And you have to take charge of your life. Like Shannon said, she's like, I knew I just couldn't get motivated. This is a motivated person. And you have to do something. Spend the money, spend the time, do something for yourself. I tell people, if you don't have the money, find other ways. If you can cut back on your extra, all the extra things you're spending money on that you really don't need to, right? People are like, I'm buying this. What can you do to cut your budget to make something happen for yourself? Okay. So Shannon, how is your meal prep going for yourself? Do you have any things that are going well right now for you that you're staying on track with in this 7-day or just in general?
Well, honestly, the food part of it is never a problem for me, because that piece of my life, as it's my profession, I really do have it in control. Although, if you can see behind me, my kitchen is a disaster. So I'm not the
just
sort of
go like this, like you do on Instagram. Go like this.
Yeah, that's
flick, flick.
I'll just do this. Boop, and you'll see that,
and then it's clean.
Yeah, no, I honestly, like, I think the biggest and best thing that I do that makes a huge difference in my life, because as a consultant, I work from home. And so my kitchen is also part of my office, because I do a lot of recipe development and such. And so when you're working from home, which a lot of us are doing now anyway, and you're also trying to manage your house, as a mom, it's really difficult. And so putting things in place at the beginning of the week, like, prepping my whole grains or prepping the veggies, even just for a couple days, or even just having a loose meal plan of like, okay, on Monday, I'm going to do this. On Tuesday, I usually get to Wednesday, like on Sunday, I'm like, okay, for Wednesday, this is what I'm going to do. Then, maybe Tuesday, I start to think about Thursday. And really having that plan is like super key. And I think people think it takes a lot of time. But honestly, it can be a very loose plan, and it will save you time in the end. And that's what I find, is that if I've got everything ready, like even in the morning, I'll be like, okay, what do I need to get ready for dinner tonight so that at 5 o'clock I'm like not, pulling my hair out going, oh, what am
Mhm.
I gonna do? So yeah,
And
that's
it's you just said exactly what I said. Like fitness, I can do it. I tell people like I can do it in my sleep. I can do this for you. Like boom, it's not difficult for me, but that's my expertise. I've become an expert in that, and you will too in your own life. But the number one commonality right here, and I'm a food junkie. I have been forever. I love everything food related. I love everything that's interesting about nutrition. It's planning. That is
yeah.
the piece that everybody's missing. It is
Mm-hmm.
not difficult. I will tell you, it is really not difficult to lose weight and get in better health, meaning the actual things to do. It's the emotional side of it, the mental side of it, the planning side of it. You're like, I'm too tired, forget it. It's more energy to think about eating well and what you're going to do than it is to just say, okay, it's soup tonight. This is what we got in the kitchen, and let's put it all together and go. But for some
Yeah.
reason, not for some reason, we just don't plan and stay consistent, right, Shannon? Like that's the biggest
Yeah.
component.
Yeah. And I think people think of meal planning, and I just saw that Heather says that meal prep's something that she struggles with. And I get it. Like it's not, it's not. I think what happens is we see meal plans and they look so intense, and they've got like for
Yes.
breakfast I'm having this and dinner and supper. And it's like, oh my God, that's going to take me 3 hours to plan. And so what I tell people is, like plan your main meals and double up so that like on Monday night, I would have, let's say, it's tacos, and I just make doubles so that on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, so that we skip a night really. So Wednesday night, then I'll have had everything doubled up from Monday night. And on Wednesday night, I have a Powerball, right? And I use all of that.
Yes.
So I think about how to double my meals so that I'm not recreating something from scratch every day, because that's difficult. That's really difficult. And then can I take some components of that and have them for lunch? So when I'm making my dinner, I make extra, like I'll chop extra veggies because I'm there anyway. It takes like 2 more minutes. I chop extra veggies, then I've got them for lunch. And I like to do, I don't know if you guys do this, but I like to do, Netflix and chill, right? No, I Netflix and prep. So I put on Netflix, I put my headphones on, and I prep my meals. And then I feel like I'm kind of doing something. I mean, not that meal prep's not doing something for me too, but I'm doing something that I enjoy. Like I'm binge watching my favorite show. I usually put on something just funny that I don't have to pay too much attention to, like Schitt's Creek or Superstore or something like that.
Yeah.
Or a podcast works really well. And then I feel like, I know we're not supposed to like multitask because it doesn't really work, but I don't feel like that's multitasking. I feel like
Yeah.
something else is going on in the background, and I just do a little bit of prep, and even like 10 minutes while you're making your dinner for this night to the next day is really key for me.
That is
That seems to work.
that
Yeah.
is 100. That is so exactly what I do. Have fun, and it isn't really multitasking because it's not really requiring a focus like in your jaw. Like when we switch from task to
Yeah.
task, that is I say that's doing something for you. You get to like have a little like escape it in your Netflix, but yet you're staying on target. So it makes it a lot more
Yeah.
fun. And exactly, like I'll do a bunch of chicken and it'll be chicken and something, and then it's chicken tacos. Like anything that you can double up to make something else, do it. I'm not into complicated recipes. I never have been. I am like, how can this
Mm-hmm.
10-step process become a 5? Because
Yeah.
otherwise it's not going to get on the table. It's the same with fitness. You make it so
Mm-hmm.
complicated, but it doesn't have to be. There's so many workout programs and do this and do that. Anything you do, you're going to lose weight and you're going to lose body fat, but you have to do it and be consistent. Put on your favorite tunes. Yeah, sure, you can watch a show if you can still get your stuff going. Whatever you want to do, you just have to make the decision, and you have to do what works for you. What Shannon does, what I do, you can draw from it, you can take the tips, and you have to make it realistic in your life. But let's get from that complicated place, like it's so complicated. People that have chefs and people that have people cooking for them, you can't compare yourself to those people. People in great shape, they're in the gym 7 days a week. They're grumpy because they're not eating carbs and they're doing things to decrease their body fat. You got to look at someone and say, what's realistic for me? Like
Yeah.
something maybe that Shannon said, something that Tracy says, something that somebody says to you, you're like, I can do that. Make crock pot, do instant pot. Like double batch everything, make it simpler for yourself. Just get the good nutrition into your body in the fastest way possible. That's what I always say, in the fastest way, and one that you go, I don't mind doing this. Nobody wants to, you know, prep for hours and hours and hours. Do what works for you. So what do you need, Shannon, to keep, so obviously food is great for you. What do you need to do to keep yourself on track with fitness? What's keeping
one of the
you-
things, so what's keeping me going is having a schedule with the Zoom classes. So I've set them up. I know when they are. I put them in my calendar. Like I scheduled them in my calendar. I downloaded that, so it's in my calendar, and I don't miss it unless, like, you know, I have, you know, I'm going somewhere or something, like I'm going on a holiday, let's say, I might miss it. But so I just have it scheduled, and make sure, like the night before for my 6:15 workout, put my clothes out, I put my computer out, I put everything out, I've got my water glass so that I don't wake everybody else up. I've got everything set. So that works really well for me. And I was listening yesterday, I don't know if you guys have all listened to that or read the book Atomic Habits by James Cleary. So one of the things that one of the things he talks about is chaining and don't break the chain. And so he's got, he would say, like on a calendar, check off, like, so I know 3 days a week, I've got these workouts planned, and I do walking and other stuff too. But let's say I've got these 3 workouts planned. So each week I put a check on the calendar, and I make sure that I keep doing that, because I don't want to break that chain. So I don't want to miss a day. I just know 3 days a week. Like, so on my calendar, after I've done it, I put the check. I can see it. I can see how many check marks in a row I'm going to put on. And then sometimes it's going to, you know, things are going to happen, right? Like you didn't get a good sleep. You know, the dog threw up on the bed in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
That's happened to me. You know, whatever it happens to be. And then, but what he says is, you know, don't let it go more than 1 day. So there might be times where it's like, okay, that didn't happen. But then, unless you're, you know, maybe you're sick or whatever, that's different. But then the next day it's like, okay, I missed Tuesday, but I'm not going to miss Thursday. I'm not going to miss 2 in a row. So that's kind of my plan for moving forward with fitness.
That's incredible. Ladies, I just copied and pasted in there. In your membership site, there's the habit tracking journals, the workout tracking journals. You as a human, the neuroscience of the brain, I'm obsessed with this. I've taken so many courses on psychology, your brain, etc. You are like reward. You want a reward for what you're doing. You know, when the teacher gave you a gold star, that set you up. There's a reason, because scientifically in the brain, it says, you're doing a great job. Keep going. Oh, this gives you a hit of dopamine. You like it. I remember this feeling. I'm going to file this. And you have a personal assistant in your brain. And she's going to either sabotage you or she's going to keep you on track. And she says, you did your 6:15 workout today. Whoa, you feel good. I see that check mark. Let's feel more of this. So reward yourself. And when you give yourself an X and you don't quite do it, just say, okay, what did I do today that led me to this X? Maybe you needed that day. Maybe it was like, I needed the rest and I needed it, or something is going on. You don't be beating yourself up. I failed. I'm such a loser. You make yourself want this more. So today, you know what? I chose sleep over that workout, and I needed it today because the week was really busy. So you give yourself that mark, you make a couple of notes, but you don't beat yourself up. So click on those links, print them out. You can use whatever system you want, your own little calendar. I've created that for my clients because they love it when they're checking it off, like drank W for water, you know, W/OUT for workout, M for meditation, whatever your acronyms are, put it on the calendar so that you can feel like, whoa. And then when you look back, you're like, wow, 3 days this week I worked out. That's incredible. The week before was 0 or 1. Yeah. So it keeps you in this momentum and keeps you keep going. And it's just about mini progress steps. Stop looking at the giant picture. Break it down to small. What can you do today? Right? That's the most, I find the most helpful way, and where my clients get the most results is when they think, imagine the long-term goal, and then you just focus on today. And sometimes it's just focus on your morning, right?
Yeah.
When you're super
Mini
busy.
goals.
Exactly. Because otherwise it's too much to swallow and you're just like, hands up, I'm done. I can't do any of this. It's too hard. And it is too hard when you think about, I have to go to bed, I have to make the lunch, I have to pack my clothes, and you break these all down. You're like, how am I going to do it? You will. because what's important to you will become a top priority. And ladies, I will say this again. What happened for me in April and what happened this entire year, my whole story's not shared. Do not get yourself to a space where you have to, and I was already there because I was already taking care of myself, but most people wait till diabetes sets in, all these things set in to make a change. Be proactive and live your best self right now. What does that mean? Maybe it is getting more sleep. Maybe it is increasing your activity. Pick the one thing that is just pulling at you at night, you know, when you're like, I really need to start doing that. Like Shannon's was, I really need to start working out. And it's like tugging you. Listen to that voice and just do that. Because as soon as you start moving, you're like, oh yeah, I want to eat better. The dominoes start falling and it becomes easier. You just start drinking more water, et cetera, et cetera. Thank you so much for sharing, Shannon. I love
Thanks,
it.
Trina.
I love you are so welcome. So today,
Thanks.
ladies, I want you to really focus. Today's an interesting one. It's the mirror challenge. This is a game changer. I did this about 15 years ago. Stare into the mirror for 2 minutes at yourself. See what shows up for you. It is really difficult. I don't know how many of you will really take this challenge, but it is incredibly powerful. It's scary. It can be emotional. You'll see that you're maybe beating yourself up or judging yourself or saying things like, oh, why do I look like this? And just try it for yourself. There's a lot of things on that list, but that's the one I really wanted to point out because it gives you a real sense of like where you're at emotionally, and all these emotional charges that we have and these emotions that we feel, they either prevent us or they propel us forward. They either stop us in our fear from accomplishing whatever it is you want, or they just pin you down and you're like, whoa. So see what happens. Does anybody want to share where they're at? Any struggles, any wins? Like, speak up. This is your chance. You're getting my coaching here. Share with the group. Anyone want to share? Heather, go ahead.
I have a win. I've been drinking your lemon detox water every day. Like this is the mug that I have that in. So I have it at least 2 to 3 times a day. I'm like addicted to it.
It's so good. That is what got me off of alcohol, sugar, and so many of my clients, Coca-Cola. Like I've had clients that were addicted for 20 years on Coca-Cola. It's such a yummy, yummy drink. I love to hear that. Oh, you just muted yourself because that's okay. Hi, beautiful. Sitting with mama on the couch.
No, you gonna say hi?
Hi, cutie. How are you?
You say, how are you?
So the water's going well. What else is going well? Can you still hear me, Heather? She's on mute. That's okay. Do you shred the ginger, Laura? Do you shred the ginger as the first time I brought it? So there's a couple things that you can do. I'll answer just while Heather's there. There's a few ways you can. There's no right or wrong way, to be honest. And I did it a lot of different ways before I had a blender, like a proper blender. I would just peel it, Laura. Like I would just kind of go like, you know, with like you know when you peel cucumbers, you know, with your little peeler. I have French. I spoke French. I speak French and English, so I get franglais. I get these words all mixed up. So just a peeler, I used to just peel the ginger. I would take off the skin, which apparently you can eat it. It's edible, but I like to peel it off. And then I would just kind of shred pieces into a hot pot before I had my actual blender. And then I would just do it like that, Laura. You can also do it where you put it all in a blender. Some people strain it. I actually like the pulpiness of I enjoy the ginger, but you could actually strain it, like people that like pulp-free orange juice and all that. You could do it that way, but I literally put it all in. I take a piece of ginger and I plop it into my blender. And if you don't have a blender, just do little tiny shreds of it. Try to break it up. You could even chop it. Ginger is quite strong for you, but it's an acquired taste. So start with a little bit, like take a little piece, break it off, and then see how it feels in your body. Does that answer the question, Laura?
Yeah, thanks.
Have you tried it? You've been with me for like, what, 10 years?
Yeah. Well, I do the lemon detox, and I have been just with the cayenne, and I just have the lemon juice. Like I don't have an actual lemon.
Yeah.
just for ease in the morning, right? So turn the kettle on and I put the cayenne in. I was like, I'm buying, I do love ginger, but I've never
Yes.
actually bought I
Oh
have
my
the
God.
in a jar.
It is one of the most superpower herbs, whatever, I'm losing the word. It is one of the best things that you can eat. Make it in recipes. Like it is that and turmeric, and that little bit of cayenne pepper. It is an acquired taste, so start really small. Like put a little sprinkle of cayenne. It just, you know what it gives you? And this is what all of my pop drinkers tell me. And if we were in the States, I'd say soda, my soda drinkers. They always tell me, they're like, that burn that I get down my throat is just like drinking wine or just like drinking pop. And that's how they get off it, because it gives you that little bit of a burn. It's not a burn like you're on fire, but it's like, ooh, it gives you that little wake up kick. It wakes up your taste buds and it decreases your sugar cravings, guaranteed, because they can't go hand in hand. It's like gratitude. If you're like, I'm so grateful for my life, you can't be like, this person stinks and I'm so miserable, because it lights up different centers of your brain. It's the same with your taste buds. It lights up centers of your taste buds. And then you're like, wow, when was the last time I craved that sugary thing? It's incredible. Heather, do you want to continue on with what you're saying? So you said you were doing your lemon water, the lemon, and I saw that you added more ginger. And again, once you get used to it, pick it up a little notch, see how it feels. Don't be afraid to experiment.
Yeah, the first time I made it, I was like, cayenne pepper. It's like I showed it. I was like, the titch, but now I added more. I'm like, woohoo. Like you said, that burn, I'm like, I'm enjoying this. This is good.
It is. It's a weird, nice burn, eh? Like it's like a little party in your throat. You're like, I like this.
Yes, you're like, this is good. I can deal with this with no hangover the next day. So win.
Yes.
And then I've been trying really hard to work out every day for at least 30 minutes. I didn't yesterday at all. And I'm really tired all the time. I'm getting tested to see sort of why I'm tired all the time. Because I could sleep 12 hours, I could sleep 8 hours, I could sleep 14 hours and be the same amount of still exhausted the next morning.
Yes.
So that's been, getting the energy to work out has been really hard. But I worked out for 5 days and then didn't yesterday because I was like, I just physically can't. So I'm hoping to get back on it again. So
take that rest though. And vitamin D right now, ladies, vitamin D as Canadians, this is one of the tests they do not cover unless you are already vitamin D deprived. It's absolutely ridiculous. But almost every Canadian should be taking a vitamin D supplement every day. Drops are the best, sublingual. You can talk to a naturopath about it, but if you can afford, I think it's 30 or 40 bucks, get your vitamin D checked, because when you're vitamin D deprived, it gives you symptoms of anxiety and depression, and it's mistaken for those things when really you don't have anxiety and depression, but because you're lacking in vitamin D, which is a major important nutrient you need in your body, it masks itself like that. So that is an amazing thing. And you do want to make sure that they say that with vitamin D that you want to be taking it with a C or something to absorb that in your body. So it's always best. My whole family's on vitamin D. You don't have it with dairy, you do all these things, you take it. And we've been doing it for years. And my vitamin D is so low. And I was taking 5,000 international units daily. So depending on your body, and I'm not saying you need that, depending on what your body needs, it could be something so simple like, Heather, you're like, your vitamin D is low. You're like, oh my God, that's why? Like, it's the simplest solution. But yet we go down this rabbit hole that we're like, this is wrong and that is wrong. And a lot of times it's a very, very simple thing in your body. B12 is another one for all of us that are vegetarians. And it's not even just about, I actually, interestingly enough, got genetic testing. So I found out why my vitamin D is so low. It's because I have a gene that does not allow me to properly break it down. So it's great at getting in my body, but then it just hangs around and goes, what do you want me to do with this? And it doesn't go where it needs to go. So there's so many things that could be going on. A lot of times it's something very simple that's just overlooked. So get your vitamin D checked and see what's going on, and your hormones, right? Like a lot of times, as we hit our 30s, as we hit our 40s, those hormones start to deplete, and the ones, you know, with estrogen and DHEA, all these different hormones that we have, they start to really kind of, they're sluggish, they're not working as well. So just really pay attention to really get to know your own body. That's the best thing you can do. Don't compare to someone else, because our genetic makeup is so different. When I did this genetic hormone testing, I was beyond fascinated. It explained so many things about me as a human that I got from my parents that they didn't even know. I was like, that makes complete sense. Right down to like, they test your empathic hormones, like your actual emotions. I am like I'm off the level. I'm in the top 6% of the world that has these genes that makes me super empathetic. That's why I can't watch the news. I can't watch scary movies, like all these things. So just get to know yourself and how you're feeling. Natasha, it did cost quite a bit. I did it through my naturopath. I think it was $300 for the actual test. So you spit into tubes and the test was $300. The expensive part is having them break it down, because I took it to my doctor. So it was $300 for the actual test. Then it was $325 for the naturopath to actually sit with me for 2 hours to break the whole thing down, because it's thousands of genes. So for what I got, like the big report, it wasn't that expensive. But for the bank account, for that, it was quite expensive. And I did it because I got diagnosed with a very rare disease. Nobody knows why. And I knew it had something to do with my genes. So when I took it to my doctor to ask him to break it down, he's like, Trina, we're going to be doing all of this in 10 years. You are always so ahead of the curve. So it's one of those things where you're going to get it, and it's hard for someone to break it down for you. So you'll have all this information. You're like, what do I do with this? Unless you have someone good. So I think it cost $625 in total. So it is a lot of money, and there's a lot of different things you can do. But for me, it was one of those things I was like, I need this right now. I need to know. It tells you what medications you could be allergic to, what you will respond to. It told me, like, she's like, this is how you could react to COVID. This is how you could react to the shots, like your DNA. It's incredible. The point is, we're all so different. So if you wonder why Kayla's super motivated and then Heather's not, it's two different genetic makeups in your body. There's so many things going on. So don't beat yourself up because you have genes that you just got. I'm like, I said, see, now I can really blame it on my parents. And then I said to the kids, I'm like, see, now you just blame it on me. Why you got this? And then it's like a wheel. You just keep blaming it on other people. There's nothing you can do. I'm like, I'm so sorry, guys. You're going to probably have these genes, because when you have 2 of those genes, you're 50% guaranteed to pass it on to your kids. So I'm like, sorry, kids, you're probably, but it doesn't mean when you have your genetic makeup, it doesn't mean it's an end all be all. Environmentally and in extrinsic factors you can make a change and make a difference. And everything that I do, like with dairy, I can't eat wheat. I'm pretty sure I'm celiac, but I never get tested because I just cut it completely. I was just like, this all makes sense. Why, like all the things you know internally, that's your intuition. You're right. You're probably right about yourself with like things that don't agree with you, things you maybe should do and not do. Your woman intuition, you know, you just don't listen to her. You're like, oh girl, I'll just shove you over here and just quiet you up. So anybody else, I really want you, we're coming up on day 7 tomorrow. Obviously, you know, there's options to continue. You guys got sent lots of codes for the 6-week Fit and Fierce, for classes, wherever you want to go with this. This is up to you. I want to encourage you, regardless of what you're doing, stay on track. Repeat the 7 days again. Go right back to day 1. Keep these habits going, mix and mash them, make your own, you know, we're on day 6, right? Day 6, go back to day 1, make some new things for you, continue those on, use the habit tracker. How are we doing, girls? How do you feel like you're doing with this group? Go ahead, Kayla.
So I've had 2 small wins this week.
Amazing.
So before I used to work out to lose weight, and that was my mentality, and I was never successful because that was always in my head. And so now I'm telling myself before every workout, I'm not working out to lose weight, I'm working out to build strength. And it's actually changed the way I workout and my feelings towards it. I don't feel like it's a chore anymore. I feel like I'm doing it for a purpose. So that's a big win this week. And then I've also, for 2.5 weeks now, I've been using the Fortino's online shopping. And I can tell you it's been a big difference, because I'm not going down every aisle and picking up my snacks that I want to crave. I'm just buying what I need, and it's been phenomenal. And Fortino's is actually so good. Like, they call me and they say, we don't have this, do you want this? Or we had to replace this. Like, they just called me, I wanted Greek yogurt and they didn't have the small one, so they gave me the large one for the same price. So it's been really good.
Oh my God, my heart is like pounding and jumping out, because I remember we were in a training, you're like, what is this? PC Express, can you send? I'm like, oh, I'll send you a thing. I think they have some code right now. You can get points. You're like, oh, I'm going to try it. I love that you said that. That is the one thing in the pandemic that crushed me. Was I loved grocery shopping, but I would just buy more. And that was the hardest struggle for me, was not going to the grocery store and doing online shopping. Now I don't step foot in a place, and I buy only what I need, because I can't just see the items that they're plucking there. I have to pluck in romaine lettuce and da-da-da-da-da. And Kayla, you are the epitome of what I have been saying for 20 plus years. I changed my mindset from losing weight in a workout to something else. If you go into your workouts and you think, I want to lose weight, and that is your main driving goal, you are going to epically, most likely fail, because that is not a realistic lifetime extended goal that's going to keep you in that activity. You can't just work out now and then stop. It does not work that way. You have to carry on. And once you change your mindset and take the pressure off of yourself to changing it to health. Robert, will you just bring me some water with I think there's a little lemon downstairs in a container. Thank you. I forgot my glass. Once you change that, suddenly it's like you wake up and you can chime in here, Kayla. You're like, oh, I'm going to work out today. Not, oh, I have to go to class because I need to lose 5 pounds. That
was the thing for probably 5 to 7 years. Like, I had great success when I was in university overseas with working out, but I wasn't doing it to lose weight. I was doing it to try to meet people, because I didn't have many people over there. And so when I came back here, it was trying to lose weight, and I hated it, because my scale wasn't changing. My pants stayed the same, nothing fit. So this week, at least, I'm enjoying it. I'm hoping I can stay with this mindset.
And just because your scale doesn't change, does that mean you're a loser and you failed? For most of you, you're like, yeah, for most of you, your thoughts, you're like, yep. Like, how many people get on the scale and tell me that? I'm like, you cannot see what's going on inside your body. You cannot measure how happy your brain is this week. You cannot measure how now you're not screaming at people because you feel better. Like, all of those things do not get measured. And again, it's back to accountability. You're not going to do this by yourself. You need a group of positive people around you. You need to change your mindset. The fitness industry has done you a disservice. And I've been in it since the 90s. It's the most corrupt. I actually say this a lot. I'm like, I hate being in the fitness industry, because I'm in the low 5% of people that do not market that way. They're doing you a disservice. Lose weight, lose body fat. As soon as I send emails out like that, my open rates skyrocket. But if I'm like, change your mindset, think about it a different way, it's like people don't want to open, because people don't want to hear that, because you're conditioned. Thank you so much. You're conditioned to work out to lose weight, get lean, get in a bikini, do all these things. And that's all marketing that works for us, because that's the mentality we have. But you know what? That is not sustainable. Like, the people on the Biggest Loser, it's something like 47% of them gain all that weight back, because you can't have a weight, not to say you can't have a weight loss goal, you can. but that is not your motivation. Your motivation is, I want to live longer. I want to look great in my 30s. I want to look amazing in my 40s. I want to be mobile in my 50s and my 60s. I want to not have the knee pain. I want to be able to sit on a toilet. People are walking like this. You want to be able to stand upright. I want to be able to whatever, get that hit of dopamine. As soon as you work out, doesn't matter what it is, Zumba, boot camp, lifting weights, it does not matter. Yoga, you get a hit in your brain that makes the hormones happy. Kayla, you're sitting on gold. Right now, you are sitting on the gold, the star, the, oh my God, I know the answer. I found the answer. It is in me. And if you can continue to remind yourself that, I promise you, weight comes off. You start getting the body you want, and it's easy. It's so easy. You're like, oh, it's so easy. I don't have to go to this class. I want to go to this class. It's fun. Other people there, and I'm going to get in shape and get stronger. Every class you do, you're getting stronger physically, mentally, and your heart. You just don't know it because you can't see. It would be amazing if you could look in a scanner after and be like, whoa, look at all the cells that change. Look at my brain. You would be like, I'm doing it again. Because the benefit is weight loss and fat. And when I say weight loss, you're losing fat and gaining muscle. Don't be afraid of muscle. Muscle is incredible on a woman's body. We say we want to tone and lose weight, but you want muscle because muscle is a fat burning engine. Kayla, I love that you shared that. Keep that mentality, especially you as a dancer. You've been messed up because of all the coaching that you've gotten from your dance teachers in the dance industry. It's just like the fitness industry. That's why my girls never danced. I was like, you ain't going to no dance because your brain, all my dancers, they are so messed up here. And it's just because of the community you're in. That's all it is. It's how you're brainwashed and how it was. And we're getting better. But we have to realize, hey, no, I can do this for all the other reasons. So stay with that, Kayla. That is so powerful. Anybody else want to chime in? I hope that this week, more than anything, you have got some tools under your belt that you just think and know, I can keep doing this. I hope that I've taught you things and that you can use, but most of all, I hope that I've given you the superpower and the desire in yourself to do better for yourself and truly know that you're capable, that you can do this. Even if you failed before, even if it's hard, you're single, you're married, you're not, you're this, kids or not, it does not matter where you're at. You can make the changes for yourself. You can make your life better and you are going to feel better because the world right now is sending us a huge test. How do we want to feel? How do we want to be? How do we want to look? And we have the chance and opportunity to change right now. We're in a big wheel of change, of wanting more as humans, of wanting to do better. Just take that pressure off, but grab yourself an accountability buddy. Yeah? Tracy, how you been doing? Do you want to share it all? And again, you can just say, you know what? No, guys, like if I put you on the spot, you don't have to. I know everyone's trying to unmute themselves. that little unmute button. Let me see if I can ask to unmute you if it'll help. There it is.
Okay, no, I was just trying to find it. Yeah, no, I'm doing okay. Yeah, I guess one of the struggles this week was just, getting in the workouts and getting up early enough. You set the alarm for 5 and it's like one snooze and then 2 snoozes and you're like, okay, I really need to get up, and then 3 snoozes and you're like, okay, get up.
That internal voice starts like, she's like, get up, and then she's like, listen, girl, and she's like, you need to get out of bed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got your email. I'm so proud of you because you did the 6:15 a.m. on Wednesday. Did you do the 6:15?
Well, I signed up for it because I wanted to do it, And then when
Yeah.
I was trying to think, okay, do this from this time to this time, and then blah, 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 and, gotta leave at this time. I thought, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to shower afterwards. And
Oh,
then
it's
do the
too
6:15
rushed.
and then leave the house at 7:30. So I was like, okay, well,
got it.
I get up earlier and do it before. So, but
You did it
but yeah.
before 6:15 a.m.
Yeah, it ended up
Okay,
being
let's
about
all go like this
like
for Tracy. Come on, bring it
5:45.
home. Like, you my hero, girl.
Yeah. Thanks.
So what is the biggest struggle right now, would you say? Is it accountability? Is it food? Is it fitness? What do you know? What's the Tracy thing that you have that you just know you need some accountability on?
I mean, the food this week has been good. Like I cut out pop and coffee and alcohol and like treats and stuff like that. And but
went
like
hard.
historically
lot.
it's been bad. Historically it's been bad.
But this week it's been good.
But this week it's been good.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. So what are you going to
Yeah.
keep doing to keep accountable for yourself and stay on track?
Well, I printed like the workout calendar that you put in the link. I'd gone and found that on the 8-week
Excellent.
challenge from before, and I had printed that out. And I printed out just like a couple other things from your website. Like there was one of like the week 1 wow workouts from the 8-week
Yes.
that I printed
You're
off
talking about
that
the
and put
8-week
that in
train
there.
with Trina that you've been in, right?
Yeah.
Amazing. Because you still have
Yeah.
access to that. Great.
Yeah, so I just kind of put together this duotang, and so I'm just trying to like go through it and just trying to do those things. I haven't been able to do like all of the things on each of the days, but some days it's like, okay, well on day 4 I went back and did something from day 2, and
That's
I'm just
amazing.
trying to check them all off eventually.
And that's what I mean. And that's what's perfect. Thank you for saying that, Tracy, because that's exactly what it's all about. Like, I don't always get things done all the time, but I will remind myself, I'm going to take day 2 to day 4, put this here. That's what it's all about. It's just making those changes. And it's that accountability piece. Like, oops, I missed something from day 2. I got to be accountable and go back. And that's incredible, because you're going to do it. It doesn't matter when you do it, be consistent, and it's habit. And Tracy knows, I've coached Tracy for years, and you've had incredible success. You know exactly what you need to do. We just know that we fall off, right? And we things happen, life happens, emotions happen, and she's got all the tools. She knows how to get herself back. That's what will happen. You'll eventually get to that place where it's that much easier. Do you find it's just a little bit easier, Tracy? Like if you think about 5 years ago when we started together and you're like, oh God, all these changes, does it feel different or a little easier now to pick yourself back up and dust yourself off?
Yeah, in some ways it's, definitely easier. In other ways it's probably harder because, there's even less time now. And, but yeah, so I guess, yeah, some ways easier, some ways harder.
Yeah, it depends on your life and where you're at too. Because if you guys are waiting to find more time, it ain't coming for you. I don't know what happens, but I always thought, and those of you kids, like when my kids were really little, like Heather, I'm looking at you now, I'm like, yep, I remember that. 3 kids running a business, hanging off my leg. I don't know how. I was a chef, I was this, I was that. I don't even know how. Hi, Rory. But now my kids are
say
older.
hi? She just said hi to me.
Hi, Rory. Gosh, you're just such a cutie pie with that beautiful smile. If you're waiting for more time, it's not going to happen. It just is not going to happen, because next month, next week, next year, life just keeps bringing it on. So there's no better time than now. Whether you have kids or don't have kids, it does not matter. Your life is filled. When you don't have kids, you're like, what did I do with all my spare time? Then when you do have one, you're like, what did I do with all that? Then you have 2. It doesn't matter. You have no kids or kids. Your life is full. You're filling it up with things. So the time is now. The time is now. You're living now. Live your best life. Feel your best life, so that don't wait for that task tomorrow. Do it now. Do it now. Yeah, you with me? So tomorrow we have 10 a.m. Zumba, which is, I can't wait for Zumba. I love dancing so much. And then we have our final meeting right after class. So class goes from 10 to 10:45. So let everybody kind of towel off, sweat up, like whatever. So if you show up at, 10:50 or so and we're not quite on there, don't worry, we will be on there. And we're gonna really talk about where you're at, how you're feeling, what we're planning on doing, just keeping us accountable, keeping us in the group. Get active in the Facebook group. That's always there for you. If you want any of the replays, you can email us. There's a very cheap fee that you can purchase that. You'll get access to it to use it. And I just want to keep encouraging you to keep making changes. And I wrote this last night in my journal. If you saw the little Instagram reel that I posted, tomorrow's a blank day. I use this journal. I love it. You can do it any way you want. But plan yourself for tomorrow, your top 3, write them down, drink the lemon water, check the 7-day list, and do something on it. Like find little things. I always fill out my top 3 in this book. Can you see that? It goes right here. And I set myself up because this is filled. If I showed you my list, and obviously I can't for privacy reasons because it's recorded, but there's like 100 things a day on there that I need to do for work with my assistant, with whoever over. And that's not even my personal life, my kids, my husband needs me, my friends need me, everyone. So I schedule top 3 every day. Schedule the day before the day schedules you, because you're just the more you do and the more you say yes, the more people expect of you. And I've always told my assistant this, and I've told my kids this. The more you do, the more I expect from you. You're the one that has to say, you know what, got to slow it down. It's a little too much. I tell everyone that I've ever hired, I'm like, you need to tell me. I can't imagine in my brain, oh, this is too much, because maybe you love to do a lot. I can't think it's too little. You have to tell me what is too much for you. Wait, we got to slow it down. That is a little much. I need to get to this. Great. Let's recorrect. Let's course correct. It's the same in your life. Plan your top 3. What do you have to say no to today to hit the goals you want? Have you given that a lot of thought? What do you need to say no to? Maybe you need to put down your latte, your coffee, your spending. Maybe you need to say no to a friend who needs you. I had to really learn that the hard way. I had to say no to people, and I had to say no to other things that I really wanted to say yes to. And I had to just say, I don't have the space right now to do and help you or whatever. You have to be honest, because you're never getting back time. So schedule these 3 things. That is the habit that I've been secretly teaching you all week, is the top 3. I've been branding it into your brain and telling you, what are your top 3 that are going to get you there? I'm going to do a course on this, a training on this, because it is the most effective way to hit any goal you want to in your life. So I want to encourage you to do this every day, to kickstart every single day with you first. All your other things are going to get done, but your you project time, they're not going to get done unless you schedule them. And whatever you're saying yes to in your house, at your work, wherever, you're just going to keep being pulled more. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do that? Because you look like you can just handle it all. So we dump and dump. The universe dumps on you until it finds your breaking point, and you either like have a mental breakdown, have a nervous breakdown, can't take it anymore. And who wants to do that? So be proactive in your life. Okay. So 10 a.m. tomorrow, about 10:50, and bosses do that. Yeah. You know, the most successful people, no is the most successful word that you can say. You know why? Because no allows me to say yes to other things. I got asked to do, go ahead, Amber.
Going to say, then there's an association of guilt. Like if my boss were to give me another project to work on or something to do, it's almost like I can't say no. Who would it's impossible to say no, right? So you just say, yep, I'll get there, and add it to the list.
You know what? as a boss, you absolutely 100% can say no. In fact,
You know what? Yeah.
It's the way you say it and how you present it, but that is the guilt. I agree 100%, Amber. It is the guilt that we feel inside, because some people have no problem saying no, can't do that, can't get to it. And you're like, holy ballsy people. Like, those people, you're like, give me some of those lady protein balls. Like, you know what I'm saying? For the little kitties in the group. But I can say this because I've had this with many people I've hired in the past. I always say, I'm like, you need to get in check what you can do, what your schedule, what realistically you can allow you. Your boss will respect you more when you're honest. And I'm not talking when you're on a deadline. Like, you can't be like, no, boss, Amber, I got my boot camp class scheduled. There's exceptions to this rule, because they might just fire you and be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're being pushed by your boss, you're being expected certain things, they have expectations of you, and depending on the kind of person they are, you're going to be much more respected when you say, I can do that for you, but I've got ABC project on the go, and it's probably going to be like a 70% work, because in all honesty, you're not putting in 100% because you're burnt out, right?
Yeah.
You're drained. So if someone says to me, I'm going to give you a 7 out of 10 project, I'm like, girl, no thanks. Okay, and then I think to myself, what do I need to do? Who are the people I need to push on? It's all guilt. Amber, you have so much guilt. I would love for you, and we all do as women. I don't just mean you.
It's so true.
We have so much guilt associated with so many things that we as people need to work on why that is. I used to say yes to so many things. Yes, I actually turned down one of the biggest things. I got hired to do, be on a show as a host regularly for incredible money. And I was like, I guess when I looked deep into my heart, and I was just like, I have to say no. Why? Because being on TV was something I said for my whole life. I'm like, I can't wait to be on a show and do all these things. And when I really thought about it, I was like, this does not align. If I say yes to this, all of these other things are going to go to the back burner. And do I want that? And it would have been great money and all these things. And you know what? Someone else took my place that actually I was like, thank God that person really needed it. But you have to decide what it is you want in your life. And there is nothing more important than your mental health and your physical health. Absolutely nothing at all. But yet you suffer every single day. So the next decision you make to say yes, ask yourself what you're saying no to because you're saying yes to this. Like this week, I've been coaching 7 days a week, plus I have private clients, plus I have all these other things. I added this 7-day kickstart in. I had to say no to 50 other things. I got hired for the school board. And I said, I have to decline. What do you have to say no to get to 615 boot camp? You have to say no to staying up late. You have to say no to drinking. You have to say no to whatever. What do you have to say no to make this meeting? What to say yes? Like you all took a yes to yourself today, right? So just remember that every yes, you're saying no to a bunch of other things. And every no, you're allowing yourself to say yes to yourself. Because I'll tell you this, your boss, your friends, your family, nobody is truly there when you fall, and no one understands what it is. Like you'll have a support system, but no one knows what it's like to be way down in the dumps. You're in the dumps. Like when I went through this heart stuff with my family and had these surgeries and had all this stuff, I kept repeating and knowing they really do not know psychologically, mentally, physically what I'm going through. And that's okay. You have to have the tools yourself. That's what we're building in this Kickstart, to be the person in charge of you and being the vehicle for your strong body, your strong mind. And then you have people to support you. They're there to just hold your hand and say, I don't exactly know what you need, but I'm here for you if there's anything. That's what we do for others. But we're the one that walks. the pain, the suffering, all of that. And you're the one that has the ability to change all of that. You are an incredible person. You were born with the tools. You were born with the confidence. You just let the world in. You let yourself in to sabotage and tell you things, stories that are not true. Just like Kayla said about losing weight, all these years losing weight, it's a chore to come to class if it's to lose weight. Because then they get on the scale. I have clients that get on the scale in the morning, then go to class, get on the scale again, and they're like, that didn't work. Of course it worked. It absolutely worked. But it didn't work that minute right there. And it might not even work in a month. You know how many clients I have, they come like 4 or 5 times a week, they work out for a month, they're eating great, they don't lose 1 pound. You have to be able to swallow that because it might happen, but it does not mean that you didn't make 50,000 incredible changes in your body. You just have to be patient. Forget the number, forget the failures. What can I do right now when I get off this call that is going to propel me into an awesome kickstart? Because you're always re-kickstarting, right? Don't you think we're always starting over, starting again, building fresh and building the tools? We are, right? Laura's been on this journey forever with me. You're constantly bettering yourself. I know so many things. I could have a 50-hour conference with you and still not teach you everything because I'm constantly learning and constantly changing. So do you feel like a better person today? Tell me in the chat if you can, because I know some of us are doing other things. Do you feel like you're better than you were last Sunday? Like when you first started this, do you feel like you're a better person? Do you feel like you've done more for yourself? Do you feel like you got a little more pep in your step? You're like, you're hungry. You're like, do you feel a little better? Or do you just feel like you're just a total failure? You might have that mentality. Tell me in the chat. I feel better. I feel better. I do. Yes, that's what I want from you. Yes, I have worked out for the first time in so long. And Heather, thank God you jumped back because Heather was with Fit for Females when we were in studio. And then she didn't join online for whatever reason. And then she just decided, I'm coming back. January, you signed up. And look, I'm sure you're like, thank God I did this. Like, right? Maybe you can speak to that. Thank God I did this for myself. You're a mom. Heather's a single mom. She's doing a lot of things, teaching, all these things. You're taking care of everyone else. Now you need someone to take care of you. And that's when I say somebody to take care of you, I mean, we're accountable. We're here for you. When you fall off the bandwagon, Heather, which you will, you're going to be like getting emails. What's going on? Like Laura will be like, where's Heather? I haven't seen her in a while. I haven't seen her in class. I haven't seen so-and-so. My team touches base with me. I touch base with you guys because I don't just want your money. I'm not like a gym that's like, let's make X number of dollars. Let's sign up 100 people and hope that 20 shows up. I'm not like that. I'm like, get every penny of your value and your money. And I always over deliver. I want you to succeed, to show up. Like, I don't want your money and you're not coming. That's great, but that breaks my heart as a human. I am like, no, come. What's going on? What's happening? So keep this going. Stay hungry for yourself. You're so incredible. You don't even know. I see the potential in you. I see the possibilities in you. If you could feel part of what I feel and put that into yourself, treat yourself like your best friend, the one you love the most, that's like beaten down and feeling awful. And you're like, girl, you can get back up. You can get back up. Because once you adopt that attitude, and especially if you can adopt Kayla's attitude, like I coach all the time, but you heard it from her, transfer that from weight loss. Get it out of your mind. Just think that's the bonus when you're consistent. That weight will come off. It is easy to lose weight. I'm not kidding. I will say that 1,000 times over again. It's not easy to process your emotion and your excuses and be consistent, but losing weight, it's simple. Drink more water, move your body, go to bed, try not to eat so many things from a box, have more fruits and vegetables. Don't even consider all the protein and fat. Just eat from the earth mostly things, and then enjoy all your other things. It is not difficult. It really isn't. But we make it complicated. And so does the fitness industry. That's why it is something like a $700 billion industry. I look this up. I want you to watch. If any of you have Netflix, there's a show called Explained. It is incredible. I'm going to show you this because my husband and I watch this all the time. Let me just find this right now for you because I like to just give you stuff in real time. I want to show you what it is because we just watched this on, it was the fitness industry. This is what it's called. I'm going to show you. It is called, I'm going to share my screen with you. Watch, you can see, look at, we're getting private. You can see my little Netflixy screen here and all these things that I'm watching. Okay, so this here, it's called The Mind Explained. There's all these different ones here, but you can just look it up. There's one on the fitness industry. It's all about your brains and like it tells you everything. There's a lot of different episodes that are about like teenage brain, your brain, heart. It might not play. Let me see. I want to see if I can find it. It's not showing it, but it's called Explained. Oh, it's still playing. Hold on a minute. It's called Explained. Look it up because there's a bunch of really good episodes, but there's one specifically about the fitness industry and how we've made eating so complicated. And I was like, oh my God, I need to send this to my members because this is what I talk about all the time. It's talking about how every company is like, take this shake, take your collagen, take your this and take your that, because we're so desperate for results that we think we need that shake and this and all these other things that cost hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like more than that a month. It's incredible. So have a watch. It's really good. It's called Explained or something. Yes, the easy way. That's what people want. You know how many people, like clients I have that drink stuff? I'm like, you're spending $500 a month on these stuff. I know, because I know all the industry. I know all my competitors. I know all this stuff. I just educate myself. And I'm like, you could be sending that on this and that and the other thing. And do you know what that's doing to your liver and your insides? Do you know that this stuff isn't even FDA approved? Like, I can go in my bathroom and make a shake and make a thing and make a fat loss pill for you, and I can sell it to you. Isn't that kind of creepy? Like, I could go do that. I can actually go, and then I can say to you, you're going to lose 10 pounds on this. And I'll use Laura, who's working out in my class all the time, be like, Laura did this. She might take it once. I'll be like, Laura, take this once, work out in my classes, and let's throw out a testimonial. It's corrupt, but you're being fed that Instagram, Facebook. That's what I'm competing against. I'm competing against all this stuff that's telling you all these things. And there are certain supplements you need, vitamin D, there are certain things, but a lot of this stuff, girl, you don't need that. You think you need it because that person, I'm standing there and I'm in my bikini and I'm like, look at my 6-pack. Like, I can show you I have a 6-pack. I'm a mom of 3. My body isn't like what it was before. I don't take shakes. I don't take supplements. I don't do all these things. But yet I could go for a company and be like, look at me, and bronze myself up and be like, I take this and I do this. And you're going to look at that and go, yeah, I want to do that. I get asked all the time to be a spokesperson. They're like, we don't even care that you don't take our stuff. I'm like, I will not stand and advertise something that's just my morals and my beliefs. So think about that as you go through this journey. Keep it simple, keep it real, increase your protein. You know, if you find a great powder that you love, they're not all bad. Find a good quality, look at the ingredients. There's lots of great ones. We have protein powders in the house. I took them for years. Pick a good one, pick good ingredients, educate yourself, and then keep it simple. Just keep it super simple. It doesn't have to be super expensive. And just know that when you're purchasing anything, you have to know, like, who's making that? Who's selling me that? Like, pharmaceuticals are advertising a lot of things. Look who's behind that message. Just do a little quick investigation. It doesn't have to go down a rabbit hole, but do a little quick investigation. I'm going to just check this. Oh yeah, there is info on the site. Yeah. Google Fit for Females, protein, the good, the bad, and the ugly. My good friend Kyle, I did it because I wanted to have a nutritionist background. I know everything there is to know, but I always make sure that I cross-reference with other people. And Kyle came up with some stuff. We did it together. Just Google Fit for Females, protein, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's amazing. And I don't know, maybe Laura, if you can find it, you can even put it in here. There's tons of great stuff. I like to make you think. I like to make you go, I like to make you think a little harder. I will never say something's bad for you, but I will tell you, this is what you're looking for. Like people come to me and like, I did this program, I'm doing this detox, I'm doing this. I'm like, okay, why don't you sell this? It's so great. I'm like, there's a reason I don't sell it and I don't promote it, because my beliefs and values, I'm not all about making, you know, $50,000 a month selling shakes. That's great. Maybe if I was, even if I was desperate, I just know for me, my core morals and beliefs is to give you stuff that I do, that I believe in, that I know works, that's true, tested, etc. I will not tell you buy this shake. So if I am saying something, I know that people are like, Trina's word is gold, right? Like those of you that have been with me, you can attest to this. Put this in the comments. If I do recommend something for you, you know, like you can take my word and trust. You technically don't even have to do your research if you don't want to. Do I make you feel that way? That's how I hope I make you feel, like clients, when I'm like, this is what I'm doing, this, I love this tea, or I love this, whatever, that you know that if I tell you that you're like, oh, it must be amazing because she does not recommend things that are not something like that's 100% that's true. I hope that's what I seek out. Yes. Am I allowed to ask you to comment on athletic greens? If you know, I can't seem to bring myself to eat vegetables, so I'm looking for a green juice. I'll know I'm not sure I'll drink that. Yeah. So this is funny because I actually did a lot of, especially over the pandemic, like over the last 2 years, on greens, because we were in a shortage in the city when we were going through this pandemic. And I reached out to a bunch of different companies looking into a bunch of different green juices, etc. There's no actual proven statistical studies on a lot of this stuff. Granted, more vegetables in your body is always a good thing, right? Of course, that kind of stuff we can agree on. So for people that really, really do struggle getting in vegetables, I will always tell them, find yourself a good greens juice booster. Yes, because most of the time, and again, there's that caveat, in your green stuff, it is a dose of vitamins. It is a dose of nutrients. It's not like it's a protein, man-made things. It's a little different because all these proteins and stuff, they're processed. Like, do you see it growing in the ground? No. But the greens, there's a little more, like it'll be beet juice and all these different things. So yes, you can have them. If my husband was around, I would show you one. I actually got a bunch of different samples that some companies sent me, and some I wanted to purchase myself to be anonymous, to try. There are some good boosters, but this is what you want to do. Look at the label. If you don't understand what it is, Google that ingredient, because you're putting it into your body and it's affecting everything from your mood to your cells. Who is that? Can I ask you for one more favor? My poor husband. You know those 2 greens juice jars I have? I can't remember if they're in the cupboard. They're either in this cupboard. They're like little green juice. There's one that's red and one that's anyway, I'll show you what I have. I've tried a bunch of different things, but they're really sneaky and gross in their marketing with what people claim. Just know that if you're taking something to increase your greens, look at what's in it. Really look at the breakdown of what's inside of that. And if it's like spinach and kale and not a whole bunch of other things, it's going to taste, if it tastes delicious, it's probably a bunch of additives. And you're like, well, this green juice is, yeah. Like suddenly, Natasha, you're like, I love greens. I'm all over it. I'm like, there's stuff in that that's just not, like, if I make you beets and spinach and real greens and I'm like, here, Natasha, drink it. Thank you. You're going to be like, that tastes gross. Then I'm going to give you another cup that has a bunch of other things that you're going to be like, God, Trina, this is amazing. It's because I put stuff in it. I'm not promoting this company, okay? I'm not affiliated, although I could be, and this was some really expensive stuff. This is called Organifi. Again, I'm not affiliated with them. I'm not telling you to buy this at all. This is a company that I went with because they're organic. I couldn't find stuff in Canada. I wanted to try it. And I'm going to read you, watch this. I got to get my glasses on because I'm like 90 now. I've had an issue with my eyes with this disease and it's totally affected me. Hi, Grandma. How you doing? Okay, so this contains organic wheatgrass, organic wheatgrass juice powder, morning leaf powder, spirulina, plant power, organic chlorella, matcha. So matcha is going to give you that little bit of dose of caffeine, et cetera, et cetera. Sounds like good things, right? Now, other ingredients are prebiotic power from tapioca starch, natural orange flavor, which can mean a lot of different things. It contains natural flavors, mint flavors, other natural flavors, other organic luo, monk fruit. So right there, that's one. And then there's another one too. There's a red juice. And I've had this for a year and a half and it's full. Like it's still full. This one I've had for a year and a half and it's still half full in it. This other one, this is another one. This is an energy support. You'll find this stuff all online, like people just crazy. This has, and this says it's a lasting energy, 0 caffeine, only 2 grams of sugar. That's the claim, that it's only 2 grams of sugar, because again, I can do different things. So it has things like pomegranate, cranberry juice, fruit powder. It has fruit powder for blueberry, raspberry, and strawberry. And people will read this and go, yeah, it sounds pretty good. Here's the issue. It has, I can say, organic natural flavors. Natural flavors, just Google that. Google natural flavors and what that actually means. Because you're like, oh, it's natural. It's a natural flavor. And then it has a bunch of other things. The issue is that I can tell you organic natural flavors or natural flavors is a lot of different things. And when you start to research this stuff, sure, is this better than you going out and not eating vegetables and eating McDonald's and eating all these things? Of course it is. Of course it's better. It's a much better place. But are you going to get addicted to this? Yep, because you're going to pour it in your cup, you're going to stir it up, you're going to drink it, and it's like, oh my God, that tastes so good and sugary and amazing. And anytime that happens, you have to signal something that says, But when you're struggling, Natasha, I want you to get more greens in your body. So then I evaluate each person and client and I say, what's going to get Natasha to eat more? If I can start you on something in a greens juice and I know that it's a good quality, start there, and then I'm going to wean you off and you're going to get the kick and then put it into your body in a natural way, then yeah, find a good quality that you can eat. Now, this is top of the line in the US. This is suggested by top leaders that I follow. And there is still stuff in here that is not so ideal and has ingredients that we aren't quite able to break down yet. And this costed a lot of money. I really wanted to try them out because I was like, I want to believe this is very different. Top leaders suggested it. So I was like, I'm going to see this for myself. So everything in moderation. Maybe you do this a day or two on and then a couple days off if you know that that's what you need to kickstart, because it's always about what's going to get you to do those things. And sometimes people need to start with powders or start with these things, but they become they're meant to get you addicted to want more. And I actually felt that with the green juice. I was like, I'm going to take it for a week and see. And then I was like, oh man, I'd wake up and I was like, I'm going to have my green juice. I'm craving it. It's the sugar that's not advertised. It's the additives that makes you keep coming back, because we want you to come back in business. Business is all about the bottom line. You want to surprise your customers. And in the industry, this stuff is not FDA approved. This stuff is not. And if it is FDA approved, that doesn't mean much, because Lucky Charms and all those things are FDA approved. Does that mean it's good for us? Like, there you go. Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms, all the things that we know we just buy because it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's good for you. So that was an awesome question. They're real sneaky because they tailor to your searches. Yeah, I searched in and it sticks up in all these commercials and into my music. Absolutely, Natasha. You are right. It is so corrupt. So just be very aware of claims that are made with a product, with a supplement, with whatever. Because if they're making promises, and I'll tell you, a lot of these before and afters, they're not true, authentic. It's very unfortunate. I just want you to be very, very aware how you're spending your money, what company you're giving it to, what product you're buying at the grocery store. The more you buy it, thousands of people buy it, they market it. They bring it up in price, and they also go, let's make more, and they wean out all the healthy stuff. You already know that there's no substitution for eating from the earth, et cetera, et cetera. You know that, but you want a quick fix. And guess what? You're vulnerable and someone can sell you that. I'm telling you, if I started promoting this stuff, I know I have good friends that sell certain products, and we battle back and forth all the time because they want to get me on their team. And I'm like, listen, girl, you know that A, B, and C. She's like, oh, I know, but I may need to make a living and I believe in this stuff and it works. I'm like, I can't wait to see your liver. Give it 10 years. And I'm usually right with people. They're like, oh my God, that company was crap. I'm like, I know, but they're like, I made thousands and thousands of dollars. And when you're desperate and you need to make money, you're going to jump on that train too, because you're like, I need to feed myself and my family. So just keep that in mind. All right. Feel good? All right, gals, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Hopefully you'll come to Zumba. If not, I hope you'll make it to the 10:45. Yeah. Are you doing Zumba, Amber? Yeah. She's like, yeah. Okay. I love it. I love it.
Really, I love the music. I did a Zumba series or whatever, like many years ago.
You're welcome, Natasha.
So much fun and a really good workout.
It's
and my
so
daughter
fun.
to try.
Oh yeah, for sure. Your kid can join in. Absolutely. So if you haven't tried it, if it's not your thing, just try it. It's so much fun to just let go and not think. Bye, Natasha. All right, ladies, I'll see you tomorrow. Have yourself an incredible day. Okay.
Bye.